Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world, and today we're going to learn the first 3 index laws. Now, over 3 lessons, you're going to learn 8 of them. We're going to go through the first 3 now. So, first off, and you probably know all this might be a revision. First off, we just need to have a look again at what we mean by index and base. So if we have a number like this, 2 to the power of 4, remember we call the number being raised to a power the base, and we call the number up here the power or the index. And of course we know that 2 to the power of 4 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times itself 4 times. So that's what we're on about. So for the first law, let's say we had something like this. So let's say we had 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So this is 2 multiplied by itself 5 times. So the definition of that, what we've decided about indexes, is that this is 2 to the power of 5. Okay, so we've decided that that's what 2 with a superscript 5 means. 2 times by itself 5 times. So this top form in blue, this is called expanded form, and the bottom is called index form, okay? What happens, however, if I take my 5 2's, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, what happens if I take that and I multiply by 2 more 2's, okay? So, clearly, that's 2 to the power of 5 times 2 times 2 is 2 to the power of 2, right? So in expanded form, though, I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2's. So clearly, this must be 2 times itself 7 times, which is 2 to the power of 7. But since this part here is 2 to the power of 5 and this is 2 to the power of 2, then 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 2 gives me 2 to the power of 7. So what I've done is I've just added on a few more 2's. That's why if I multiply bases, so in this case the base here is 2, if I multiply bases, I take the powers and add them together. So I got 2 to the power of 7. A quicker way to do that would just be to write 2 to the power of and 5 plus 2 equals 7. So that's my first index law, and I can write it generically like this. A to the power of b times a to the power of c. So when you multiply bases together, the bases have to be the same, you add the indices together. All right, fantastic. Now we're going to look at another law. So again, we'll write this in expanded form. So I know that 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, as I just mentioned, it's 2 times itself 5 times, that is 2 to the power of 5. But let's say this time I want to divide by 2 times 2, okay? So again, I'm dividing by 2 squared. Now what we can use is the process of cancelling. So I can write this down here as 2 to the power of 5 divided by 2 to the power of 2 like this, right? But because I can cancel, because I can do that with fractions because they're all being multiplied together, the 2's aren't being added together, I can cancel these last 2 2's with the ones at the bottom. So when I'm dividing by 2 to the power of 2, I'm taking away 2 2's. If I was 2 to the power of 3, I'd be taking away 2 3's. So that's the essence here. I'm taking away the 2's here. So 2 to the power of 5, so a quick way to do this, 2 to the power of 5, divide 2 to the power of 2. I divide the bases, I keep the same base just like I did in the previous example, and I subtract the indices, and I get 2 to the power of 3. And that's exactly what I got here. I'm left with 1, 2, 3 2's. So 2 times by itself 3 times, okay? So writing this generically, a to the power of b divide a to the power of c. So when I'm dividing bases, I keep the same base, and I subtract the indices. That is my second index law. Now I'll show you the third index law. So let's say instead of now doing 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 2, let's say I do 2 to the power of 5 raised to the power of 2. So I can write it like this. I take 2 to the power of 5, whatever that is, and I raise it to the power of 2. So what this means, remember I can expand this. It's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So that's 2 to the power of 5. But then I'm squaring that, which means I'm timesing this whole thing by itself. 2 times 2 times, like this, okay? So I'm taking 2 to the power of 5 and timesing it by itself. Now, if we look at the expanded form here, I've got 2 to the power of 5 and 2 to the power of 5. When I multiply them together, I now have 5 plus 5 2's, which is 10. 2 to the power of 10. Right? So I've taken, if you like, 2 lots of 5, which gives me 10. This would work for any number. So if I had 3 to the power of 4 to the power of 5, for example, I'd be taking 5 lots of 3 to the power of 4. So just like this, there would be 4 3's, then another 4 3's, another 4 3's, another 4 3's, and another 4 3's. So all up, there would be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, 23's. So what I'm doing here, because groups of means multiply, is I'm multiplying the indices. So the quick way to do 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 5 is just leave the same base, just like I did in the previous 2 examples. But now what I'm doing is I'm multiplying these 2 numbers. 2 to the power of 10, okay? As another example, 3 to the power of 4 to the power of 5 is 3 to the power of 4 times 5, which is 3 to the power of 20, a really, really big number. So now, just like I did for the previous 2, I'm going to write this generically. So if I raise a power, so I've got a power here, a to the power of b, if I raise that to another power, again, I keep the same base, and I multiply the indices. That's the third index law. So let's go through a summary. So these are the 3 index laws you need to know for today's lesson. As I said, we'll learn more in the coming lessons. So these are about when I multiply bases, when I divide bases, and when I raise a power to a power. So I'll do a few quick examples involving more than one of these laws. So let's say I had 4 to the power of 6 times 4 to the power of 5, and I divided that by 4 to the power of 3. Okay, I'm just going to use the first 2 index laws. So this is how you should show your working out. So 4 to the power of 6 times 4 to the power of 5. Remember, with BODMAS or BIDMAS, whatever you want to call it, if I have a times and divide, I do whichever occurs first, left to right. So first I do the times, 4 to the power of 6 times 4 to the power of 5, then divide 4 to the power of 3. Now I subtract the indices because I'm dividing, and I get 4 to the power of 8. So these laws work, of course, whether I use numbers or I use pronumerals. So let's say I had something like x to the power of y to the power of 2 minus x, divided by x to the power of y. So again, I need to use my rules of BIDMAS or BODMAS, or whatever you want to call it. So I do the brackets first. So x to the power of y squared gives me x to the power of, and I multiply the indices together, 2 times y, divided by x to the power of y. So now I'm going to again use the second index law. I'm going to subtract the indices. So it would be x to the power of and 2y minus y gives me y. And that's the answer. I can't simplify it anymore. Hope you've learned something from this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.